Good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. We certainly did. We're back in the book of 1 Samuel, and we've been looking at the early chapters of this book. And it begins in a very sad note with the children of Israel coming to Samuel and saying, Samuel, we want to be like everybody else. We want to have a king. And Samuel threw up his hands in horror and says, but God is your king. And they kind of said, well, that's nice. We like that. But we can't see God. We need a God. We need a king who we can talk to physically, we can touch, we can see. And so Samuel was devastated, as too was God. But they went through with the request that the children of Israel asked. And God said, well, I will never violate your freedom of choice, and I will give to you a king. God was instrumental in choosing the king as well. Samuel was instructed by God to do certain things, and Saul was anointed to be the king. The people got their wish. Not only did they get their wish, but they also got the consequences of their wish and their request. You see, Samuel in chapter 8, he told the people, he said, if you want a king, there's going to be a price that you will have to pay. If you want to go against the will of God, then there are consequences. And they said, well, we don't care. We know better. Therefore, we're willing to take that on. And so Samuel told them and said to the people, this king is going to come. He's going to turn all your people into slaves. He's going to turn your young men into soldiers who he will take to war, and many will not survive. He will take your land. He will take your wealth. He will do all of those things because he is a king. And that's the right of the king. He rules with a rod of iron. And they said to him, we don't care. That's the king that we want. You see, you get what you ask for, but you also get the consequences of what you ask for. And then you go on to read for the rest of this book how Saul had a few highlights. He did a couple of good things. But then after a number of years, his pride got the better of him, and he became corrupted in some of the things he did. And I will talk about those maybe tomorrow. But you get what you ask for. When you ask for that, you get that, and you get the consequence of that as well. And so when we ask God for stuff, I think we need to be really careful about what we ask Him for. If it's anything to do with our pride or our ego or our personal will or our agenda or our vision or our purpose that we think for our own individual lives, think twice. Always ask yourself the question, is this going to bring glory to my King? Is this going to bring glory to Jesus? Because if it smacks of your glory and your will and your purpose and your world, then you may find that there may be some consequences to follow. So there's always consequences to our request. There's consequences to our actions. But it's so sad that the children of Israel went in the face of a God who loved them, a God who delivered them from Egypt, a God who had done all these wonderful things. And it's quite intriguing that Samuel sat the nation down and he said to the nation, let's just reflect for a moment of who God is and what He has done on your behalf. And he took them through the whole history lesson, but they wanted their king. They wanted that king so badly because they wanted to be just like every other nation. It's called peer pressure. When we have peer pressure and we fall for it, it's just a matter of us saying, well, we want to fit in. We want to be a part of what the world looks like. And God has always called His people to stand apart, to be different, not to be wacko, not to be, strange. But although we are strangers in the world, He wants us to stand apart and to be somewhat different. When we serve the same King as the world serves, there's consequences to that. But God still loves us. He still has, and you will see how His plan, even through Saul in those early days, continues to kind of work out, but in the main, a very disappointing experience. When we serve another God, chaos is going to be the result. He's going to suck us dry. He's going to take things from us that ordinarily should have gone to God. Think carefully about who the King of your life is. If there's chaos in your life right now, maybe you need to ask, who's the King? Because if there's chaos, it's probably because you got the wrong king. Serve the right King and watch what God does in your life. Think about that today. Going to have a fantastic day, people, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Cheers.